Okay, we'd like to welcome Scottie Scheffler into the interview room here at the Charles Schwab Challenge. Scottie, thanks for joining us fresh off of your victory at the PGA Championship, your third major. If we can get some comments on last week, reflect on that, but also being here at Colonial this week.
Yeah, I mean, last week was a great week. Was fortunate to be leaving on Sunday with the trophy, and yeah, it's good to be back here in Texas playing at home. This is a golf course that I really love and always enjoy coming back to, so I'm looking forward to the challenge that this golf course presents. It's a little bit of a different golf course than last week, so yeah, trying to get prepared.
Yeah, your sixth start here at this event. You come in with three straight top three finishes here, including two runner-ups. What is it about this course that you love so much and fits your game?
I think you got to hit it so well around this place, and I just feel like it's a unique challenge that we see on the PGA Tour. You know, we don't play Bermuda grass very often, and we don't play golf courses like this very often. So I like the challenge of more of an old school design, and you know, I think it's just a place that hasn't changed much over the years, and it continues to test us, and I'm looking forward to trying to battle this place again this year.
All right, thank you. We'll open it up to questions. We'll start with Jonah.
Hey, Scottie, I saw you walk a few holes with Charlotte and her brother. Just curious, do those moments have a bigger impact on you now that you're a father yourself?
I think I definitely have a better understanding of what it's like to be a parent. You know, I think being a parent has given me a greater appreciation for my own parents. But at the same time, when you get to meet people like that and girls like Charlotte, I mean, she's such a bright spirit. She was a lot of fun to walk around with for a couple holes, and she said she's a jazz dancer. I was trying to get her to teach me a couple moves out there. She wouldn't quite budge though. So maybe tomorrow when I see her, she'll be a little more willing to teach me. But no, it was a ton of fun. It was good to be able to, you know, treat them to a few holes out there, and I love being able to, you know, walk around and keep things loose with the kiddos.
All right, let's go to Brad on the aisle here in the middle.
After your two previous major wins, you were off the week after the 22 Masters, and you won the week after 24. I was just wondering what it was like to play the week after winning a major. Is there any feeling like, any sense that you're playing with house money?
I mean, every tournament I try to treat differently. I mean, coming off a major win, I mean, obviously there's a lot of emotion and stuff that comes with, you know, winning that golf tournament. But at the end of the day, I didn't just show up here to Fort Worth to just walk around and celebrate last week. I mean, I'm here for a reason, and that's not to just play, you know, a couple ceremonious rounds and then right off in the sunset. You know, I'm here for a reason. That's to compete. My prep work for this tournament will obviously be a bit different than it normally is for an event. You know, I didn't really do much yesterday or the day before. You know, yesterday I went to the gym and kind of got back doing that stuff a little bit, but this is my first time on the course, and today I'm just playing 9 holes and getting out of here. I'm not doing my normal practice routine just because I need to focus more on rest than I do getting prepared for the course. You know, fortunately, this is a golf course that I've been around numerous times, and you know, today I got a good feel for the speed of the greens, hit a couple of bunker shots, hit some chips out of the rough, but outside of that, you know, I just need to get my brain and body rest to prepare for another event.
All right, let's go to Tim right here, and then Skylar.
You talk about the golf course last year when you guys came here. It had just reopened after the renovation, so it was still fresh. This year, it's got a little time to mature. What did you notice that has changed over the course of the year? And what has changed over it? I mean, you know, you struggled the first couple times out here. The first 2 times you played in this event, you kind of figured something out, maybe that third year. And, you know, what are the changes on the golf course that you've seen over your time here?
Well, I mean, last year showing up, there were some pretty drastic changes. You know, a lot of the greens that were elevated were kind of flattened out, and some of the runoff areas were taken away and replaced by rough. I say the biggest difference from this year to last year is I think the rough has matured a little bit, and the greens have also matured. The greens are still quite firm, so I think it should be a pretty good test. It looks like we're not gonna get much rain this week, so the golf course should only continue to firm up, and yeah, it should be a pretty good test.
Did you see that Defender out there? It looks like something Jim Nantz could buy off you in about 15 years.
Yeah, I did see the Defender. It looks nice. Yeah, it looks nice.
All right, over here, let's go Skylar and Mac.
Scottie, we know how important the Byron Nelson is to you, but it seems like maybe you picked this over perhaps the Signature Truist event just to avoid, like, I don't know, 6 or so weeks in a row of playing. First of all, is that the case? And secondly, the same kind of question, you know, how important is Colonial to you just based on it being in your home market and things like that?
Yeah, I think anytime I can sleep in my own bed and play a golf tournament is a nice thing. You know, it's really nice to be able to be here at home, and we always get great support here in the Metroplex, and it's always fun coming back here to play Colonial. And like you said, I love the golf course here. I think it's a great test, and so that's also one of the big reasons I try to come to this event each year is just for the golf course. But overall, it's great to be back in the Metroplex. So like I said, we get great support, so it's a lot of fun to play in front of a home crowd.
All right, Mac, and then Art.
I got two questions for you. Have you wondered at all personally in the last 2 years, because you've been on a heck of a run here, if you'd still have the same achievements had everybody from the other tour been in all the tournaments that you've been playing in? Have you ever thought, I wonder if I'd still finish, would I still be number 1 or 2 or any of those things, had Bryce and Brooks and those guys been with you consistently throughout this entire duration?
Do I think that some of the results would have changed?
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, I only get to compete against those guys 4 times a year, and that was their choice, not mine. And so, at the end of the day, I'm here competing and doing the best I can, and that kind of stuff. What's the point of me thinking about? I mean, there's really absolutely no point to that. We get 4 chances to compete against them, and last week went well, and I'll get another chance here in a few weeks.
So, on behalf of golf fans everywhere, do you have any idea where the tours are in terms of potentially merging, so you guys might get a chance to play together more often?
I mean, I don't really know. That's for the higher ups to decide. And I've said it a few times this year. If you want to figure out what's going to happen in the game of golf, go to the other tour and ask those guys. I'm still here playing the PGA Tour. We had a tour where we all played together, and the guys that left, it's their responsibility, I think, to bring the tours back together and go see where they're playing this week and ask them.
Thank you.
All right, Art.
Hey, Scottie, you've certainly got a lot to choose from now with 2 Masters tournaments and PGA and a lot of other stuff. What's the coolest golf memorabilia you've gotten from some of your wins or some of the stuff that you've got?
I mean, I guess the coolest piece of memorabilia I got to give back when you don't win the tournament is probably the green jacket. I mean, that's always tough having to give that one back, but
you got it when you're there, though.
Yeah, only while you're there. Yeah, you get to wear it on property, which is, I mean, it's a pretty cool feeling, and it's very cool to be able to show up to the Champions Dinner each year. And I mean, I think it's hard to find a cooler piece of golf memorabilia than the green jacket, but sadly, it's not in my possession currently.
Jordan told me when he was at Texas, they got to play a college event at Cypress Point. What's the coolest place you played in competition, you think?
In college?
Or anywhere, just in competition, not just with buddies, whatever.
I mean, I hate to go with the same answer as the last question, but I think Augusta National, growing up here in the States, I think that golf tournament was always just different for us. And having it hosted on the same golf course each year in such a special place, I think anytime you're able to step foot on that golf course and play it, I think it's one of the best tests of golf that we see all year. And, I really always look forward to that event. We have great memories there, and it's a really special place.
All right, we'll take a couple more. Brad?
I think one of the biggest reactions around here was to your win, PGA, was when you did the football spike. Was there any football player you had in mind, or was that a football spike? What was that exactly?
Yeah, when I played football, I didn't score very many touchdowns, so I wasn't too experienced in that. No, I mean, I don't really have much to say on it. I think I just kind of let my emotions out a little bit, and I guess that's where my brain decided it wanted to go at the time. I mean, I really have absolutely no explanation for it at all.
All right, I think we're good. Scottie, thank you for your time.
Sweet, thank you all.